What's up? And welcome into Under the Hood with Jonathan Hood. Thank you so much for downloading our podcast and checking us out on YouTube, youtube.com. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment to everything we do on YouTube. And also, we have our podcast as well. The podcast is on the YouTube channel if you'd like to listen to the show, or it's on Spotify or Apple Music or YouTube Music. So for those that don't sit and watch our podcasts and our shows, you could listen to them on your drive, on your walk, whatever you do. But again, it's video and audio for Under the Hood. So thank you so much for your support for everything that we've done. You know, we continue to expand here at Under the Hood with Jonathan Hood. I always say this, and for those watching and listening for the first time, we consider this a conduit to what I do with David Kaplan on Cap and J Hood, weekday morning, 6 to 9 a.m. Central on ESPN 1000, also on the ESPN Chicago app. We're also on YouTube. If you go to ESPN Chicago on YouTube, you can hit the subscribe button. All of that is in my link tree, by the way. If you go to the link tree that's connected to this video, you can see everything. You can see all of our partners that we have, from Advantage Dealer Group to Ink and Law to Alexander James Whiskey. Like, everything that I do is in that link tree. So that includes the ESPN Chicago app. And so if you want to be able to listen in to what we do or watch on YouTube, it's all there in the link. As I mentioned, for Under the Hood, we just continue to expand. I showed you this grid to start things off, from the trenches with Kenneth Davis and yours truly. Once a week, we get a chance to talk about the Chicago Bears. Of course, my crazy cousin, Wiley. Someone just asked the other day, is like, when's Wiley coming back to Under the Hood? I said, well, we're in Bear season now, and this is where he's primed and ready to go. So we'll have my crazy cousin, Wiley, with his crazy takes about the Bears and his Packer sentiment. That'll be part of it as well. We have Tuesday Wrestling Tuesday, which is a show that's once a month. For those of you that know that I'm into wrestling, you know that I have Good Karma Wrestling, and I'm on SiriusXM channel 156 on the WWE radio network. So we do Tuesday Wrestling Tuesday once a month to be able to give a wrap-up of everything in wrestling with Charles Taylor Jr., we have Brocketology as well. That's our college football guy, Darius Brockett, the young guy from SiriusXM College Sports Nation, does a great job with us. We've already got a chance to talk about the Big Ten. We've talked about the SEC. We're going to talk about the ACC and Notre Dame coming up next week. And he does a great job in talking college football with us on a weekly basis here in Under the Hood. From there, it's the Tipping Point. Tipping Point with Michael Tipton, a show that's based out of El Paso, Texas. Mike is wild. You never know what Tip is going to say. And so he's on every morning. So if you ever see that pop up, you say, what is that show? Well, it's the Tipping Point with Michael Tipton. Someone who I worked with at ESPN Radio years ago, and now he's got his daily show, and he's plugged into what we do on Under the Hood because it's a little bit unconventional. It's sports, and everything doesn't have to be Chicago sports. It's just sports. And I know that a lot of our listeners and viewers just want to have great sports conversation, and Tip does that. And of course, we got LA versus Space. That's one of the anchors of what we do in Under the Hood. Those two, they'll be back shortly. We'll get a chance to talk to them next week. That's one of our great debate shows we do in Under the Hood. And of course, there's CJ and J Hood report back as we get a chance to talk about the NBA and other things with report back. And that is a show that we do pretty much bi-weekly, depending on the schedule. But point is that we have a lot in front of you. But then wait a minute. On this graphic here on the bottom, there's something new. Did you see this on the bottom of the graphic? For those that are listening right now, there's a show that's new to the graphic. It says the Audible with Mike Pendelton. I did say that we're growing, and we definitely are growing. We're growing with this man right here, newest to Under the Hood with Jonathan Hood, longtime media veteran, Mike Pendelton, joining us here at Under the Hood with Jonathan Hood. Sir, a pleasure.
It's an honor. It's an honor. And I'm very happy to be here. Very happy to be part of the Under the Hood family. What a lineup of shows you have. And getting that call, it's better than Mariano Rivera getting the call in the bottom of the ninth.
I'm sure it is. No Sandman music because YouTube won't allow it. But still, nonetheless, you're still here, Mike. I'm so happy that you are part of that. I'm so happy I'm tipping stuff over. I'm so happy that you are part of what we do. Mike, you need to tell everybody what your background is, because the Audible with Mike Pendelton is going to be a show that is going to be focused on the National Football League. For those of you that love football, and not necessarily all Bears, but just football, the Audible with Mike Pendelton is our newest show that we're going to have here on Under the Hood. Please tell people about Mike Pendelton.
Well, I've been doing sports media really since I was 17. When I got hurt playing high school basketball, somebody said, you're really good at arguing, so you should get into sports media. So I did that. I started a couple of websites. The only one that ever had any traction was a very old site called fullscalesports.com, which you are very familiar with because you helped a lot in that. But I've been in a lot of places. I was an associate producer and sometimes co-host at 87.7 The Game when that was around in Chicago, alongside former Bear Jason McKee. My roots really are in the NFL and particularly the Chicago Bears, but I love the NFL from east to west and everything in between. I've written at Bleacher Report. I've worked at SiriusXM on the MMA side, the combat sports. So my real media experience is both in football, basketball, and in combat sports. Currently, I write for the Bears Wire, part of USA Today, as well as the Celtics Wire. And then on the combat sports side, I cover MMA and the PFL for SureDog.com.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of busy work. Mike Pendleton. That's a little bit too much. And you still have room for us, which is amazing.
Yes. I also do a morning show. I'm coaching company with Jonathan Coachman every single day, Monday through Friday. So, if you're not working, you're not improving. So, as long as I've been doing this, and I'm sure you feel the same way, that, if you're just showing up and feeling like, oh, it's just another day, then your heart's not in it and you're probably not getting better. So I take on every opportunity I can to improve.
Yeah, you're hired here at the network, even though you work with Jonathan Coachman. We won't hold that against you because I have no problem with that. That's just fine. I want to ask you though about your passion for football as a football fan. Where did it start?
It definitely started in being a Bears fan, and I tell this story not often, so this is a little embarrassing, but maybe it'll give me a little introduction to the fans. In 2006, they go to the Super Bowl, and I am 14 at the time, and I think that the Bears going to the Super Bowl is the greatest thing to ever happen in my lifetime. Probably still is. And I shed a couple tears, to which everyone around me, when they lost, said, "Did you have a bet on this game?" No, I'm 14 years old. I just love this team. And as I got older and then players started leaving the Bears, you start following certain players. Thomas Jones is probably the one that I followed the most after he left Chicago, went over to the Jets. And then actually it was Hard Knocks that really captured me into being a football fan. And I'm big in the media space of wanting to tell stories. I think Hard Knocks does a great job of that. So I'm captivated by players. My fanhood is with the team, but I'm all about telling stories for these franchises, for these players. And that's really what captures my attention.
Yeah, we should talk about the Chicago Bears because there is a lot of talk across the league about what the Bears did this past season. They wowed a lot of people. They come from behind victories, and Caleb Williams and everything that he was able to do. What are your thoughts about what the Bears did last year and how that could be able to carry over to this season?
Well, I'm not sure if you know this, Hoodie, but the Bears are so surprising last year that your boy here went and got a good, better, best slogan tattooed on his body. That should show you where I'm at. I made it. We did a Monday Night Football show. It goes back to the Commanders game. 2 years ago, they lost 10 in a row because of the Commanders streak. So I said, if Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson take on the Commanders and beat them, I'm getting good, better, best. I'm all in. In my lifetime, the reason I said that is because there had not been a character. I was born in 92, so I wasn't around for the Dicka years. Yeah. There had not been a character like Ben Johnson who captivated me. And so that's why I wear the hoodie almost everywhere I go, the good, better, best. I was so captured by this energy that I said, if they beat the Commanders, I'll go get it tattooed. So it sits right here on the left shoulder. It's probably very weird if people ever see me, first of all, without a shirt on, but but my thoughts on the Bears are they got the right guy. And Dan Pompei did a great story on Ben Johnson and his future. And he said something to the effect of this, I hope this is my last job. And he's in his second year in the NFL as a head coach. There are only 32 spots in the league that people can get these opportunities. This is his first one, and he wants it to be his last one. For me, that is telling me that everything Ryan Poles has done over the last 4 to 5 years has been putting the standard in place for Ben Johnson to come in and run with it. You coming off an 11-win season, the first playoff win since the 2010 season. You beat Green Bay twice. You knock them out of the playoffs. All of that is great. But when you start to have a good team out of nowhere, the roster turnover is going to be key. So I do believe they're going to be a very good team. They're going to be battle tested. But how this franchise can operate with roster turnover, and there's some big ones. Obviously, Kobe Bryant is now out for most of the regular season at safety. The entire back end of the secondary is brand new, but this all comes down to Caleb Williams. And then everything that I've read and seen is he's slimmed down. He looks good. If Caleb continues to project well, I think this team will as well.
The Audible is coming your way here on Under the Hood with Jonathan Hood. Make sure that you lock in because twice a week you'll be able to get the best in NFL conversation with Mike Pendelton. I do want to talk about Caleb Williams with you as well. I mean, Madden cover. Wow. You know how many texts I got across the country, Mike, about Caleb Williams? Never mind about all the great plays he had last year. There was some on my phone was like, wow, Madden cover. Oh, that was more interesting than the actual season he had. He had to earn that Madden cover, of course. But yeah, I mean, I'm happy for the young man, Mike, because I just remember when he first got here, he was lost. He was working with Matt Eberflus, and I was giving Eberflus the benefit of the doubt. I said, here's a defensive coordinator that could tell Caleb, like, hey, I'm a DC. You can't do that because defenses will blah, blah, blah. That didn't work out. But this guy here, this maniac that they have as a head coach right now, this guy that's, bench pressing 400 pounds. Yeah, that guy there is really leading Caleb Williams. I want to know your thoughts about Caleb amongst the best quarterbacks in the NFL right now. Where do you rank him for like the Pendleton tier list?
I'd probably put him tier 2. You've got to have sustained success in order to reach the elite of the elite, but the progression and growth is crazy. And what I really want people to think about as well is when Ben Johnson was hired, him and Ryan Poles both said, all right, so this starts with Caleb Williams, but we're going to tear him down and we're going to go all the way to ground zero and we're going to build him all the way up. You're like, wait a second, like you're going to take everything from his Heisman days at USC, you're going to change it. We're going to change it all. And to do that and have the success, the ice in his veins, the Iceman that he became for the fourth quarter comebacks, the way that he propelled the Bears through a lot of deficits last season, you really look at what Caleb Williams was able to do, and it's great. The funny thing to me about Caleb Williams is people wanted to knock his demeanor and personality. I would have hated my first year in that Eberflus system as well. I think most quarterbacks would. But then they say, well, it's the completion percentage. And if everything that we've heard coming out of camp this year is accurate, which is they're teaching him to no longer play hero ball each and every single play, and you just want him to be normal, then I really think that that's the next evolution in Caleb Williams. If he gets another double-digit win season under his belt, he's knocking on the doorstep of tier 1 in my eyes.
So what can fans expect from you every Tuesday and Thursday you're on? When are you starting? Are you starting next week?
The 24th, I believe, is what we. I'm itching though. I'm itching. I may have to put in a call to the boss because every Tuesday and Thursday. First and foremost, while it's still around, just to give people a little teaser, because I can't not acknowledge it. It's Hard Knocks. Every Tuesday, you're going to get a what are we going to see and Hard Knocks this week. I love it. I don't care who the team is. Actually, not sure if you've seen it, but Mike McDonald had one of the greatest quotes I've ever heard in NFL coaching. Kicks out linebacker Derek Hall and says, turns out I'm running the effing practice. And it's so small of a line. But you think about a guy who you never heard of, Mike McDonald. He didn't have the aura that Ben Johnson had when he was hired. He was just a defensive coordinator. And to see a personality like that, I go, Yeah, I'm rooting for you, Mike McDonald. So every Tuesday, we're going to come out of Monday Night Football during the regular season. We're going to look back at the weekend that was in the NFL. And then Thursday, we're going to get you set because we have Thursday Night Football every single week. So we'll start on Thursday. We'll look ahead to Sunday and Monday. We get a little look back and then a little look ahead Tuesdays and Thursdays on the Audible.
So if I gave you Seattle or the field, what does it look like for the upcoming season? Because to me, I was so impressed by what Seattle was able to do on both sides of the football. I think as a Bears fan, all I've ever asked for is balance, right? To be able to have a strong offense and a good enough defense to be able to make plays. And I just thought there were times where Seattle was dominant on both sides. So how do you look at maybe a repeat championship for Seattle or maybe the field this time?
It's definitely the field, and I'll take it a step further. How about this? I'll call a Super Bowl rematch right here, right now. Super Bowl 56. I really believe the Bengals and the Rams will be back in the Super Bowl. Seattle's a nice story. They have a very nice defense, but I referred to roster turnover. They had a lot of that because they are the defending Super Bowl champions. They lost Kenneth Walker. They lost Kobe Bryant. Now, the Bears lost him as well, but there are so many guys that left Seattle that I think it's going to hurt them in the long run. They have Jadarian Price out of Notre Dame. I love him as a rookie running back, probably even more than Jeremiah Love. And I know that sounds crazy, but for me, it's about opportunity meeting system. And I don't know if Arizona knows what they're doing down there in their backfield, whether it be at quarterback or at running back. So I like the Seahawks. But even if Aaron Donald never steps foot on the football field again, and I've taken some heat for my feelings on Aaron Donald, it is what it is. Mm-hmm. Getting Myles Garrett ultimately elevates you to a Super Bowl contender if Matthew Stafford is your quarterback. You just mentioned balance. I think the Rams have plenty of that. On the Bengals side, that's probably where eyebrows got raised. They invested so much money into their defense, including getting Mafe from the Seattle Seahawks, getting Sexy Dexter Lawrence, and so many guys. They've invested in that balance. We already know the offense they have. If that defense can even hold guys and opponents to 20 points a game, I like the Bengals' chances to go on a run this year.
But if the Rams don't make it, you do have a second favorite, do you not?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Without a doubt. I mean, there's. I'm trying to not be a homer here. I'm trying to show that the Audible will be a national show, and I have to give credit and respect to everyone.
Yes.
Which leads me to you were one of my greatest mentors in this business, and you still are. Sometimes I say some off the wall stuff. I am here to tell you that I believe the Tennessee Titans are going to turn some heads this year.
Okay. Okay. Hopefully that doesn't turn their heads into a bucket so they're not throwing up. Hopefully the head won't be going down in between their legs like
I'm very big on head coaches, and I really believe in Robert Saleh. I also believe if Cam Ward could look half as good as he did in those final 4 games last year. Now, I'm not going to say they're going to win the division. The Titans are going to be one of those teams where if you don't take them seriously, you might cost yourself a spot in the playoff seeding. And to win 4 games last year, through all the chaos they had, if they can win 6, 7, I have them possibly going over into 8 games. I think that would be a relatively very good first season. I think they made a lot of changes, but that's the kind of stuff you're going to get on the Audible, where I'm looking at not just the heavy favorites, but what teams are you going to be looking at week in and week out that make you go, I shouldn't sleep on them this week. And I think the Titans are one of them.
So you're looking at some value picks. I see. Like maybe me taking the over in the win total for the Saints this year, that kind of thing.
Yes. I like the Saints. When you draft 47 receivers,
yes.
I mean, you got to have enough weapons. I'm a little concerned about Jordan Tyson, their rookie first round pick who left. He was hampered by injuries in college, but Hoodie, I'm under the belief that if he can stay healthy, he can absolutely take the spot of Chris Olave as New Orleans' #1 wide receiver. And I don't think that's a stretch to say. You watch that kid in New Orleans, and I can't believe I'm going to do this here, but I should probably make this known. I have a prototype for every position that I like. And we're simply talking running backs. I need big, muscular, 215, 220, maybe six. I don't want to say the Derrick Henrys because he's one of one, but when it comes to wide receivers, I know slot receivers are amazing, and I love JSN, but I will take a Jamar Chase body type over JSN every single day. So you're always going to hear me kind of sway towards the big bodied receivers and the bruising type of running backs. And I just had to, because when people are coming in and they're listening to what I have to say, they need to know, like, oh, well, if it's a 6'4" guy, and Jordan Tyson's very tall. So I really believe in him. I do like the Saints. I don't know their number. Maybe you do, but I know the Titans are at 6.5, and I think that's a heavy hit on the over for me.
Some places 7, some places 6.5 for the Saints, but I think that sounds good. It's always good to know that you have a type, though. It's good that I'm glad you admitted that to everybody. Mike Pendleton, did you have a type? That's good.
I knew you would take the ball and run with it. I had to,
I'm glad you have a type.
I had to put it right in the pocket there.
Okay. So it looks like here the last part of August, that's when you'll be able to start, and it really gives everybody a primer to what the show is going to be about and the NFL information that people are going to need. I know that you could fill the airtime by yourself, but I know that you'll have some guests from time to time, some expertise along on the Audible as well.
Yeah, I just think that there is so much more entertainment value rather than me just, spewing off how I feel, or, I want it to be known. I am going to come in not completely unfiltered, but if a guy says the Titans can win 8 games, I think that says all about the personality I'm going to bring here on the Audible and the Under the Hood network. So, but it's not just going to be me. I want to hear from the absolute best, most expertise voices and personalities in NFL media. I want to hear from former players, and it's not just what I want to hear, it's what you guys want to hear. So a wild kind of off the wall personality to get you set and look back on Tuesdays and Thursdays with some very entertaining guests. That's the plan.
Welcome, sir. This is a platform that you've deserved, along with the other 18 that you have. So why not a 19th to talk football? And again, football is king. And I look forward for me to tune in to your podcast, into your show, The Audible with Mike Pendelton.
Well, thank you. The check is in the mail. And I really can't say thank you enough. Getting that call, if I'm just gonna be real, was absolutely everything to me. You are someone I've always wanted to work with in any capacity. And I don't think I would have gotten to anywhere that I am without your guidance, your knowledge, your mentorship, and everything I learned from you, not only through IMS, but there afterwards. I mean, you were one of the only people to reach out when I got the job at SiriusXM. I think there was people at SiriusXM who wish I never got the job because they had to work with me. But, I don't take your words for granted. I don't take this opportunity for granted. And football's king, so let's just have fun. I mean, I'm a guy who owns a Bears onesie. It may show up this season. I mean, it might just show up.
I need that onesie, and I need that tattoo showed on your show. I need a screenshot of some distinction of you, just the back, nothing else, nothing lower than that. Just the shoulder, so people could see this good, better, best tattoo.
You got it. I mean, listen, I did so many Bears primetime games on the other network that I'm on in the onesie and with painted nails, and almost got my walking papers. But I mean, that's a story for another day. So I'm not afraid to be me. And you know what? Maybe there's a Titans onesie in the mail. Here's my open invitation to the NFL. If you want me to be off the wall and show my personality around your franchise, give me something to talk about. And that's just what it is. Like, I will buy in on, I won't say you're going to beat the Bears. I mean, that's first and foremost.
Yes.
But give me a reason to talk about you guys and for the players, because coming over back into NFL full time from combat sports, the number one thing I truly fell in love with was character. And it doesn't mean your highlight reel or your tweets or your Instagram. Show me your character in interviews and give me personality. I mean, we just saw Russell Westbrook retire, one of the most charismatic guys. If you have character and your franchise is intriguing, we're going to talk about you on the Audible.
There it is, folks. part of the family, the Audible with Mike Pendelton, along with the other family of shows we have for Under the Hood with Jonathan Hood every Tuesday and Thursday. Make sure you lock in here to Under the Hood, because if you love football, you're going to love the Audible with Mike Pendelton. We'll talk to you next time with another edition of Under the Hood with Jonathan Hood. Make sure you subscribe. So long, everybody.